everyone. This is Mispa from Khawateen Rozgar Services, and I welcome you all to the Job Seeker series by Khawateen Rozgar Services. I am really glad to have Ms. Sunaira Malik with us on our podcast today, who is a graduate of IBA and एक ऐसी कंपनी में काम कर रही हैं जिसके प्रोडक्ट्स हम रोजाना अपनी डेली लाइफ में यूज करते हैं. She is working as HR business partner with Colgate-Palmolive. Hi, Sunaira. It is wonderful to have you with us today. Please kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Misbah. It's been a pleasure being here today and talking to you. You've pretty much given a really interesting summary about myself. So I work right now in HR with Colgate-Palmolive. It's been about a year that I've been working here. I've been essentially working in the FMCG industry for the past 6 to 7 years. Before Colgate, I was with RB, Reckitt Benckiser. So it's been about 8 years into my professional career, and I've been working in HR throughout. So done talent acquisition and now into business partnering.
All right, great. So Sunaira, जितनी बड़ी कंपनी होती है उतने ही स्ट्रॉन्ग उसके इंटरनल वैल्यूज होते हैं, उतना ही अच्छे कैलिबर के ह्यूमन रिसोर्स ढूंढना होता है. So it is easy or difficult to find the right fit for Colgate-Palmolive?
So again, it's a very generic kind of question because the right fit is for the company, yes, in terms of values, but also it has to
Yeah.
do with the function. So for example, if you start looking at an engineering resource and a manufacturing resource, it's a completely different ball game as compared to looking at a sales resource. So to answer your question of whether how easy or how difficult it is, it really depends upon the function and the job itself. Whether it's a fresh graduate, it's an experienced resource, it's a head of department. So it varies a lot.
राइट. सो आई बिलीव कि आप लोगों को सेल्स या इन वाले डिपार्टमेंट्स में ज़्यादा इजीली मिल जाते होंगे एंड इंजीनियरिंग टेक्निकल डिपार्टमेंट्स में थोड़ी आप लोगों को ज़्यादा स्क्रूटनाइजेशन कर देंगे. इज दैट ट्रू?
Yes, and that is specifically because we've noticed a lot, especially for the engineering department,
या.
is the lack of the other skills that you require, the interpersonal skills. So someone in sales, someone with experience in sales, or someone from the business school would be better at, say, communication and presentation, and someone from engineering schools would be excellent with technicals, but would not have as much of an exposure. I'm not saying they would not be good, but they would not have as much of an exposure with presentations and all. So एक ये variation आता है definitely.
राइट, ठीक है. सो व्हाट आर द टॉप 3 स्किल्स दैट यू रिकमेंड कि हर जॉब सीकर्स के पास होने ही होने चाहिए?
So number one definitely would be interpersonal skills and communication. Very, very important on how you communicate, how you put across your point to others. So that is very important. Number two, I think, would be discipline in terms of work ethic, having that work ethic, responding timely, being present, top skills के अंदर this I think is really, really important. And number three would be, I think, just drive, the drive to do something and to prove yourself.
So what is that, what are those good qualities that you think कि आजकल की generation में है and you're happy to see that?
Again, I think this generation, the one thing that I really like is the agilities that people exhibit. The present generation is so agile with just the changing technologies and the changing ideas, especially in this, say, the situation that we're facing right now with COVID. People are very agile these days, especially the fresh graduates. Like agar lockdown hai, you're working from home, how do you have to manage these changing chaotic situation that we have, changing gears very quickly. So I think this is really an extremely good quality to have, to be able to navigate change easily. And also I think tech savvy jitni ye current generation hai, and they have that knowledge and that width of knowledge regarding technology, that's really helpful as for us as organizations.
राइट, सो दैट्स एब्सोल्युटली राइट, क्योंकि जितना टेक सेवी हो आजकल का दौर ही उस तरफ जा रहा है, एंड देयर आर सो मेनी ई बिजनेसेस एंड एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टुवर्ड्स ऑनलाइन, एंड इवन भी कोविड की सिचुएशन की वजह से everything is now online. So this is something कि आजकल की generation को बड़ा इसमें edge है. They have been able to easily adapt as well during this situation due to being tech savvy.
Definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely.
So what are your suggestions for universities and colleges कि वो कौन से skills हैं कि उनको focus करने चाहिए, because काफी graduates होते हैं जो there is a gap that has been noticed between the universities and the kind of candidates the employers are looking for. So उनके लिए क्या suggestions हैं universities के लिए?
These earlier, we could feel more of a gap, ways to bridge that gap, and that's been seen recently very easy, very normally around, everywhere that I see. So I think काफी सारी universities को, some universities that have already adopted these practices, the other universities should learn from them. So it's easier कि आप एक classroom में बैठ के and आप एक presentation देते हो, and then you're getting the students to give that presentation, but making them actually go and work with companies on real life actual problems, real life marketing research problems, and getting them to understand on what is how things are actually done in corporates. So suggestion to universities would obviously be, I think I've recently seen IB and LUM specifically, because we interact more with them. We interact a lot with other universities as well, but these universities have actually come up with ELP programs जहाँ पे they send their students to organizations, and they ask them कि जाके उनके साथ काम करें 3 months, do some projects, and they interact with us and they get real life exposure. Other universities also, they do a lot of internship programs. So making internships may be mandatory for, I hope all universities do that. Some universities that I know already do it, but making internships mandatory for at least 2 semesters, 2 summers, summer holidays that they have, that will really enhance the skill of the students.
राइट, सो इसमें एक और चीज़ आ जाती है, सी जैसे जो कराची के लोग हैं या लाहौर के लोग हैं, वहाँ पे क्योंकि इन सिटीज़ में आपकी बड़ी बड़ी इंडस्ट्रीज ऑपरेट कर रही हैं, सो इट इज़ ईजियर फॉर देम टू एक्चुअली गो एंड वहाँ पे इंटर्नशिप एंड हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस कॉर्पोरेट्स के साथ उनके हेड ऑफिस में जाके कर सकते हैं. लेकिन इफ़ यू कम टूवर्ड्स सम अदर एरियाज जहाँ पे ये है ही नहीं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल केपी में बड़ी बड़ी इंडस्ट्रीज पे थोड़ी कम है एज कम्पेयर टू सिंध एंड पंजाब. So what suggestions do you have for them? Because they usually do not get a chance to actually work with these sort of companies.
So then I think it's not just like working with companies, even doing your own business or working. So for example, a student, I've met a lot of students जिन्होंने voluntary तौर पे they worked with schools as well, teaching there or working there in admin, or just starting off their own business. So I remember in our last semester, a lot of students would uh, you know buy and sell jewelry, even like basic things, selling jewelry, getting that entrepreneurial exposure, buying and selling कैसे होती है, sales किस तरीके से करनी है, setting up a Facebook page, and all that kind of exposure. So it doesn't necessarily mean to for you to get employed that you need to have like an internship experience or like working with a company, but you have that drive. I go back to when I spoke about having drive. When you have that drive, you find avenues for yourself that are not limited to say just working in organizations, the world is then open to you and you can work in different areas. E-commerce is so big, हमने फिर थोड़ी देर पहले बात की थी. E-commerce is so big. Exploring such avenues, working, looking at different opportunities, and I think uh, to sum it up, हमें initially students also have to look at what their ultimate aim is, just to get a job in a multinational company or to start working for themselves as well. So there are different avenues, especially in these turbulent times. We have to get creative with our with the way that we get our income. So I think this is something, as long as people have drive and the work ethic, they're able to find different avenues for earning as well.
All right, great. So, Sunaira, coming towards interviews, वो कौन सा ऐसा
Hmm.
question है that you guys ask a lot and candidates tend to get wrong? जो majority candidates गलत ही उसका answer देते हैं.
It's a very interesting question. I think the one question that I ask, or जो हर कोई कहता है, is very cliche, but for me it's very important, is what's your area of improvement, or some people say it as what is your weakness. And people generally think what where we're coming from is कि हम या तो we you rephrase the answer in a way कि जहाँ पे आप अपनी strength को weakness के तौर पे बताते हैं कि जैसे I am overly committed or something like that. So a lot of people assume कि ये है, and a lot of people assume this is such a cliche question, so you get a very generic answer. What interviewer is looking for in this question is how self-aware you are. Are you in touch with your, so it can be something that is so for example, someone can say I get angry very easily, right? And that is something that is definitely negative, but you are aware of it. So step one कहते हैं ना कि आपको improvement के लिए the first step is getting aware of what is happening. So if you're aware of what is the area of improvement, that means that you are working towards it. So that is one question that I definitely ask. And the other question that I ask is what is your motivation for moving? um, that is obviously towards the end of the stage. So what is your motivation for joining this organization if it's a first time hire? That shows you how prepared the individual is with the information about the company. um, do they only talk about what motivation it is for them personally, or do they also share with you information about that is present in about the company online, and we research about it? So I think these two questions that I generally ask, and बहुत mixed responses आते हैं इनके.
Right, great. So, what is the best answer that you have ever gotten from a candidate?
A lot of them, there's some of them that are very deeply embedded,
Hmm.
but not really the best answer, but I think the
Yeah,
best approach to an answer जो recently हुआ था.
right.
And so हमने candidate से पूछा था, like when we were interviewing this candidate, and we asked him what's your salary expectation. That's a very generic kind of a question that you ask. Instead of answering us, the individual took out a pen and a paper, and he started asking us questions. He asked, what's the grading structure like? He asked, what's the job requirement? He asked us about the team structure, and he asked a lot of questions that completely impressed us. In terms of he was what he was actually doing was assessing the job, and then he gave us a figure and he said, this is what I'm expecting. And the idea was not what the number was, the idea was the approach towards it. So that was one answer that was not exactly an answer, but the approach to that answer that really impressed us.
Yeah, so this is indeed, I think it's a very nice approach, क्योंकि काफ़ी जो candidates होते हैं उनको वाकई में ये वाली सारी details पता नहीं होती, and वो they don't even
Hmm.
ask the interviewers, interviewers जब कहते भी हैं do you have any questions, तो वो इस तरह की कोई basic questions पूछते ही नहीं है. uh,
Hmm.
they do not ask these things in detail, so this is something really good and appreciated.
Mizwa, I would actually say कि ये चीज बहुत important है for all candidates. When an interviewer asks you, do you have any questions? It's not just a generic, do you have any questions? No, I don't. End it. That is your chance to make a final impression. So it's very, very important when an interviewer asks you if you have any questions, you should be prepared with at least 2 to 3 to have a conversation with them, not give an interview. Have a conversation with the interviewer and ask them relevant questions.
Yeah, so this is a very important point that you have raised. So Sunaira, what is on a lighter note, what is the funniest answer that you ever got from a candidate?
So I
Yeah.
remember So this is a funny incident actually. I remember there's this one candidate who is
Yeah.
generally the protocol is you call them up, you tell them about the position, you email them about the position, they come in, they give an interview, and like towards the end of the interview is like, by the way, I just wanted to confirm ये इसी position के लिए interview है ना? And I
Okay.
completely, I know that has completely lost the ball on that game. It's like, what is happening? But
Yeah.
it was a very amusing kind of a day that day.
राइट तो अच्छा ये इससे एक और चीज आ जाती है कि अक्सर कैंडिडेट्स के साथ ये होता है बिकॉज सिंस दे आर अप्लाइंग ऑन मेनी मेनी जॉब्स तो उनको भूल जाता है
Hmm.
कि मैंने कौन सी कंपनी में किसके लिए अप्लाई किया था एंड देन दे गेट
True, true, true.
कंफ्यूज्ड तो कैंडिडेट्स के साथ
I
ये भी
know.
काफी दफा होता है
I know, but like I think Misbah इसमें ये
या
important होता है कि people should before coming how prepared you are. Just
या
it doesn't take much time. 5 to 10 minutes. Open up. नाम पता है company का Google करें नाम. Read some news. I think more than the website जो तो definitely देखनी चाहिए. Read
हम्म
the news about the company as well. That gives you a lot of insight about what the organization is.
बिल्कुल perfect so Sunaira do you have any other comments or suggestions for the job seekers
um I think just in this in this trying time, um I think the most important thing that I would ask the job seekers to have is a positive mindset. I know it gets really depressing and itni mushkil halat hain, there are layoffs happening everywhere. uh, just to have that positive energy every day can be a challenge for some people, but I would want everyone to know that things get better in like in my experience with HR I've noticed कि हो जाता है like things happen, um, but there is always something positive to look out for, so have that positive outlook. So whenever you're interviewing, your positivity definitely comes through, and that gives a completely whole different dimension to the interview itself.
Okay, perfect, Sunera. So, Sunera, one last question. Colgate-Palmolive में जब you guys get CVs, so is there an automated system जहाँ पे CVs उनकी shortlist होती हैं based on the keywords जो कि आजकल काफी organizations use कर रही हैं या it is more of a manual process?
So right now, no, we do not have an ATS,
Okay.
but automated system nahi hai. But we do review resumes that we get for relevant positions.
Sunara, it was really good talking to you. So summing it up, we talked regarding the experience के experience graduates को लेना चाहिए चाहे किसी भी type का हो even if they don't have access to large corporates या किसी और companies का तो उनके करीब तरीन जहाँ पे भी वो experience ले सके उनको लेना चाहिए for the sake of learning. Then they should be they should have the self motivation in order to drive themselves. They should be able to find avenues. We talked regarding the good part of today's generation that is being tech savvy तो अगर कोई है भी नहीं so they should focus on this more. Then we talked regarding the vision and goal कि वो भी एक individual का life का होना चाहिए. Self awareness की बात की कि वो काफी ज़्यादा important है specifically in today's world. And यही questions फिर interviewer भी पूछता है. Then we also जो है बहुत important जो point आपने raise किया that was regarding कि जब interviewer पूछता है कि job seeker से कि do you have any questions, so इसके लिए भी the job seeker should be well prepared and पहले से उसने सोचना चाहिए कि मैंने क्या क्या relevant questions इससे हो सकते हैं करने चाहिए. So it was wonderful talking to you, Sunaira.
Wonderful talking to you too, Misbah.
I believe the job seekers will be benefiting a lot from it. So it was great to have you for the Job Seekers podcast today, Sunaira. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Khudafiz and stay safe.